Today, I want to talk about coming home to ourselves. Well, I can only speak for myself, so I'm going to talk about coming home to myself. This has been a very difficult period, this adjusting back to car living. I've been, for the last several months, trying to reconnect with my parents. I have no illusions that they're going to help materially, but I was hoping at least for some sort of casual connection, and unfortunately that was basically pushed away. And my mother is sick, and I want a chance to see her, and I am still sitting with how I'm going to handle that. I thought I'd have a place to do laundry and shower, but the person changed their mind. That's also painful, and that's kind of really picking at those old wounds of rejection, by the people who were supposed to love me the most. And so I'm just trying to let those feelings and emotions breathe. It's been interesting, as I've been sort of just floating around in this time back in the car. I've been dealing with physical difficulties and then just sort of emotionally, just not really knowing where home is. I have no idea where home is, and I do want some sort of stability. And I'm trying to figure out what I can do with, less than $1,000 a month and still have enough to live. But in the meantime, trying to kind of come home to myself and feel what I need to feel, I'm so used to my neuropathy and, a little pain from sprains and any given reaction I'd be maybe experiencing from chemicals, sound, that I forget that when I'm really sitting with it, it can be like, wow, this is really uncomfortable, And in fact, I suppose I'm not really sitting with it. I'm walking with it, But before I drove here, I was like, what's the rush, and just took a few minutes to let myself feel what's in my body. And I'll often just shift my awareness from different places, head down to toes. Oh my gosh, the shoulder. Move it around different areas of the head. It's surprisingly powerful in sort of allowing whatever emotions are under the surface to sort of clear. And I find that sometimes it even helps lift some of the physical burden, And sometimes it gets worse before it gets better, But if I feel fatigued, I feel the fatigue. I feel the neuropathy, I feel the illness in my body, It's hard, but I believe that the emotional and physical parts of us are intertwined, and I have all the time in the world right now, And it's like, I guess the metaphor I've been using is, you can run from it or run with it. And so that's what I'm trying to do, run with it, and even try to find little moments of joy. And also realize how much trouble I have even sitting with that. How much trouble I have being focused on something, how that fight or flight will try to take over and tell me it's not safe. I think, I do know my body is trying to keep me safe, and so I'm not trying to fight the fight or flight. I sort of just kind of allow it to kind of go through me and stay present And I'm not trying to find peace and joy in spite of my situation, because that's like implying that I'm fighting against something. And really, it's myself, it's my own body, my own nervous system, and my own trauma. Even that, I'm not trying to run from it or live in spite of it. I'm trying to live with it, learn how to integrate these parts to help me just become. That's a full sentence. I don't even know what I am becoming, who I am becoming. But all I know is that my power is in the present moment, All I can do is make the right choice. A phone call at a time, an appointment at a time, a hike at a time, and just a little somatic exercise at a time, sitting with myself. And I've realized that I'm afraid. And I don't know if I'm more afraid of like falling apart or things actually coming together, And I know it's not one or the other. Life is a beautiful, horrifying, exhilarating, terrifying, humbling, perfect mess. I have no illusions that, this supplement or this doctor or this person or, whatever is gonna fix me. I guess it's really recognizing there is nothing to fix and that I have a lot to give. But it's one of those things where it's like all this guilt and shame, I was basically taught that even just like my presence hurts people, that the way I think, the way I can't sort of fit in a box, that's dangerous. I was taught that. And so there's this part of me that I'll get ashamed, and I'm just trying to sit with the shame. And the grief and all the difficult emotions of this situation where my family is around, they have money, but they're not interested, I have some wonderful friends, and you know who you are, and thank you so much for the support that you provide. And I'm continuing to look for my tribe, and I'm also coming home to me. Not running from the shame, loving the shame. Canary Uncaged.